so appreciate it. I was like, yeah, I can keep doing this. I can keep going for a little bit.
For 25 years. This is fabulous, amazing. The energy is great.
So the thing I'm looking most forward to this week at the eBay Open is just the learning and the opportunity from all the instructors in the classes. I think I've signed up for like 43 classes.
This is my very first eBay Open, and I will definitely be back.
Please welcome eBay's Chief Commercial Officer, Jordan Sweetnam.
Hello, sellers. Welcome to day 2 of eBay Open 2025. We're excited to kick off another day together. Thank you for being here with us, whether you're in the room or joining us online. I can see everybody mostly in the room through the lights. I can't see anybody online, but I know I've got a lot of friends sitting over here and a lot of friends online. So thank you, everybody, for taking the time. So there's a lot of work that goes into making this week a success, but it's your energy, your dedication, and passion that make eBay Open a truly special event. Yesterday, Jamie kicked things off by laying out the vision for eBay's future, a marketplace built on trust, powered by technology, and centered around you, our sellers. That message really resonates with me. I've been a part of the eBay community for over 20 years, as a seller, as an enthusiast buyer, and as an employee. My first purchase was actually in 2001. It was a cross-border trade transaction paid via postal money order. Maybe by a show of hands, who's been on eBay since the time of pre-digital payments, checks in the mail, money order? All right, very familiar. Something kind of magical about the idea of actually buying an item on eBay, putting a check in the mail, and just trusting something was going to show up later. It was pretty cool, but it worked. And obviously, I'm here 20 years later, still shopping. So I use eBay all the time. I've talked to a number of you in the last 24 hours, sharing what I collect. I have a unhealthily large collection of Kermit the Frog. The comment yesterday about the fine line between being a collector and a hoarder really resonated with me. So I have a lot of Muppets. I buy all of my plants on eBay, the ladybugs to keep the plants healthy. And for those of you in the collectible card space, I am a big fan of vintage hockey, so 1910, 1911, 1951. If you want to talk later, come find me. So those are my shopping habits. But more importantly, all of you have a very special place in my heart as we think about selling on eBay. And it's not just because I can relate to your challenges as sellers. I've been a top-rated seller on eBay. I know the pressure of meeting your handling times, looking after buyers, and delivering that excellent experience. But more importantly, I grew up in family business. I understand the pressures that you face day to day, and there is no 9 to 5 for any of you in this room today. So thank you. I care deeply about our brand, our mission, and especially our seller community. So today, I'm excited to share more with you about what we're doing to ensure that eBay remains a fair and trusted partner where all of you can grow your businesses successfully. So we're building for the next generation of e-commerce, one led by enthusiast buyers looking for meaningful, memorable experiences. These are the customers who consistently come to eBay for the things they love, whether they are the rare, refurbished, collectible, or the unique, hard-to-find parts. And it's your inventory and your service is what makes all of that possible. During yesterday's keynote, you heard how we're listening to your feedback and building the tools that you need to make you as successful as possible on our platform. And today, we'll focus on the growth that eBay is helping bring to all of your businesses. We're creating a more personalized eBay, ones that meet buyers and sellers where they are. For buyers, that means faster, smarter discovery, and for sellers, it means intuitive tools that reduce friction and fuel growth no matter your size or your category. And many of the updates you're seeing this week all started with your feedback. With eBay Live, we're creating an entirely new way to connect, turning product discovery into real-time engagement. I know many of you are already playing around with eBay Live. I saw a huge group of sellers in front of the streaming studio yesterday. And as Jamie talked about, one of the things that's so exciting is when we build a feature on eBay, we may have intended it for one mission or customer scenario, but it grows into so much more than that. And the conversations I had yesterday in front of eBay Live really reinforced that. I was talking to a seller from the Salvation Army who was saying how the power of eBay Live will allow them to showcase so much more inventory versus having to take a photo of every single item and write a full description and actually see where there's interest and demand. And I've heard of so many examples like that in vintage fashion, obviously in sports collectibles, and I know in this room and I know online, there's a lot of passion and creativity to unlock on this exciting new platform. We've deepened trust in key focus categories like motors, collectibles, refurbished, and luxury by tailoring experiences that address the key trust priorities for our buyers and for you, our sellers. In just a few minutes, we'll actually bring a few of my colleagues on the stage to talk more about how we're innovating through category-specific enhancements. We have fundamentally changed how eBay operates, and that's attracting the next generation of buyers to the site. They're buying more, and they're returning more frequently. We've also redesigned the buyer journey with personalized homepages and smarter search. We're investing in tools like an AI shopping assistant, which brings conversational, intuitive experiences to buying, helping match buyers with the right inventory and helping them do it faster. And as you saw yesterday, we have exciting M2M AI assistants from Xiaodi and Nissan to help actually buyers get answers to their questions faster without taking your time to answer things that are already available in the listing. So we're putting our global scale and decades of experience to work for all of you. Whether you're managing a few listings or scaling globally, we're focused on helping you streamline operations, remove friction, and unlock new opportunities. And we're making sure you have the right tools to promote your inventory and ensure you have the right buyers that can find your items. Of course, a safe and trusted platform is a part of our core commitments to all of you, and so I want to provide two updates this morning. First up, unpaid items. And I'm sure just by saying that, a number of you have energy based upon the feedback I heard in the conversations yesterday. As I shared earlier, my first purchase was paid via postal money order. I paid. 30 years ago, that you could connect online was incredible. That was amazing. But as great as that was as a starting point, launching an e-commerce site before online payments even existed means that many of you have likely experienced unpaid items in your time of running your business on our platform. Your item sells, the buyer doesn't pay, it ties up inventory, it takes your time, and depending on your category, it can actually impact the resale price when you go to relist that item. It's painful, it's costly, it's time-consuming, and it's not how eBay should work. Last year, we largely solved unpaid items for fixed price and best offer. This year, we've expanded our work into auctions. Some of you may already be a part of the test. Auction's a little bit harder, not just because of the nature of the bidding, but how do you pay for an item immediately if someone wants to actually buy multiple auctions and have a combined shipping discount? And so that's part of the work we're working on. But I'm proud to say that today, less than 1% of the transactions on eBay.com go unpaid. And while we've received lots of great feedback, I want you to know that our commitment is we're going to continue to work this until we've almost completely eliminated unpaid items, regardless of the category, the format, the buyer country, or the seller country. The second topic is with regards to one of the top unfair themes that I've heard from many of you over the years. And this is related to when you issue a refund for an INR, or item not received. So if the buyer doesn't get the item, it gets lost in transit, clearly the expectation is for you to issue the refund and look after the buyer. But what happens if after doing that, the item later arrives? Is it really fair that the buyer ends up with the item and a full refund? It's never resonated well with me when you've shared those stories, and so we've taken time to look at how we're going to address that. Our job as a marketplace is to look after all of our customers and to absorb as much friction as we can, especially in these really tricky situations. The case of you being out the money and the item is something I want to fix, and you'll hear more about our plan changes for this later today. So these are just two examples, but know that being a trusted platform and a predictable place for you to run your business is a key focus for us. I think you've heard almost every leader on stage now. Please share your feedback, find an eBay employee, let them scan your QR code, let us know what you need. Tell us the other top pain points. They can be really big, they can be things you shared in the past, they can be new, they can be really small. Don't assume we've heard the feedback. Please keep it coming. This is how we develop the best roadmap and the best solutions for all of you. So later today, David from our trust team will be up here to share more details about these solutions that I just talked about and other things we're working on in our seller protection programs. So we're making improvement in payments and financial services. This is another place where eBay's scale and resources can make tremendous difference for sellers like you. With expanded payment options like Klarna and Venmo, we're making eBay transactions simpler, easier, faster, and attracting a younger demographic of shoppers. We've heard from many of you that access to working capital is a key barrier. And as you heard from Jamie, in 2025 alone, we've delivered over $100 million in seller capital. Later today, you'll hear from Avriti about new ways we're providing financial support and resources to help you scale your business. We've also made eBay ads simpler, smarter, and more effective, with a new dashboard and new tools like Promoted Stores and Promoted Offsite to help you build your brand and drive traffic. And we're continuing to improve the core tools you count on every day. Later today, Elizabeth will be up and to tell you how you can tap into these new tools and resources to fuel your growth. And we've got a great lineup of workshops where you can learn more about making the most of eBay ads. So eBay is a global marketplace, but the reality is that international shipping isn't simple. A few years ago, based on your feedback, we simplified global selling and launched eBay International Shipping to take the complexity out of cross-border trade. You send your items to our facility, and eBay handles everything from there. If you are using eBay International Shipping, sold means sold. That is a very simple way to access over 100 million shoppers globally. Of course, with all the we know things aren't easy. I want you to know that eBay will continue to use our scaled capabilities to make sure you can access global markets as simple and easy as possible. As you heard from Mazen, Nitsan, and Shouty yesterday, we've accelerated our AI investments, and many of you are feeling the benefits. Our magical listing tool can turn a photo into a high-quality listing in seconds. And for high-volume sellers, bulk listing brings the same efficiency at scale. And our generative image and video tools help you create studio-quality visuals and engaging social content to make every listing stand out. AI is a huge focus for us, and we're just getting started. Of course, what was amazing 6 months ago, sorry, it is like super dry up here. Please stand by. I bought like the 6-pack of 1 liter from Walgreens. I'm going like 3 a day. It's very hot. So what was amazing 6 months ago feels old now. And with each week, there are incredible new capabilities to simplify your business and delight our enthusiasts. This is going to shape every part of the eBay experience. And again, your feedback on how we shape these tools and make them exceptional for your customers is going to be critical. So I want to wrap by just touching on our commitment. eBay is your partner. We're building this with you and for you. As Jamie has said before, we're successful when you're successful. That commitment will never change. We're investing to build the strongest possible platform, one that starts with trust at the foundation and gives you the tools to make things simpler and easier to run your business and delight your buyers. Whether you're operating from a home or managing a global enterprise, we're here to support your success. So next up, we're going to go in depth on how we're innovating in specific categories and how these changes will benefit everybody on eBay. Then we'll take a look at how we're growing the platform by building emotional connections between buyers and the things they love. And lastly, we'll welcome Christy and Danny from District 1, a sneaker seller on New York's Lower East Side. They'll be joined by a few eBay leaders to talk more about their journey from beginners to running multiple brick-and-mortar stores in a thriving eBay business. And during that session, you'll hear more about some new programs and resources designed to support sellers as they scale. It's so great to be back together. We've got an amazing day 2 ahead for all of you, and I'll be back later to close things out. I sincerely appreciate all of you taking time away from your businesses and your families, whether it's here in person or online. I know this is a big investment. Thank you so much. Now let's get the rest of day 2 started.
Please welcome eBay's U.S. General Manager, Don Block.
Hello, sellers. And thanks for being here on day 2 of Open. This is so exciting. I am Dawn Block, the VP and General Manager for eBay in the US, and I am so excited to be in the room with you today. Now, you've heard about how we're building a more personalized eBay. And you've heard how we've built our strategy around the categories where people love to buy and sell on eBay. If you're fixing your car, you need to know the parts you buy on eBay are the right one for your ride. And if you're a trading card collector, eBay should have everything you need to buy, sell, and grade your cards. And if you're spending a lot on high-end luxury goods, you should feel safe knowing that eBay has your back at every step of the way, from the moment your item enters our authentication facility to the time it reaches your door. By narrowing our focus, we are raising the bar for buying and selling in specific categories on the site. We start with trust to build category-specific experiences that our enthusiast buyers love. Then we're scaling the most impactful category-specific enhancements to benefit buyers and sellers across even more categories and even more countries around the world. Finally, we are telling our story in ways only eBay can, through ambitious, high-profile marketing that showcases the best of what makes eBay, eBay. Right now, we're going to talk more about what we're building with our focus categories and why it matters, no matter what categories you're selling in. I'm excited that joining me on stage are 3 of eBay's leaders from a few of our key categories. We've got Chris Prill joining us in vehicles and P&A, and he's leading our total focus category strategy, but here to talk to us today about vehicles and P&A. And then we've got Alexis Hoops. She's joining us for fashion. And of course, Adam Ireland is here on collectibles. So I would love to have them join me on the stage now and welcome them so we can get started with our conversation. Thank you. Thanks, team. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It's such a pleasure. I'm excited to hop right into it. I think one of the first questions I'm excited to get into is really trust. And maybe, Alexis, if you don't mind, let's start with you. Why did we start with trust?
Yeah, it's such a good question. I think it's been a theme throughout a lot of the presentations. The cornerstone of what we do is establishing trust. So our whole job, especially as focus categories, is how do we make it easier for you, these amazing group of sellers, to connect with the over 134 million buyers. And especially in fashion, when we think about that connection, we want to establish, it's so important for us to establish trust in every transaction and interaction. And so we think about this in 3 different ways. First, it's around platform trust and things like eBay Money Back Guarantee, the seller protections that we have in place. That's all about establishing trust in eBay as a platform. Then second, it's about establishing seller trust. So things like what many of you participate in, which is our eBay Top Rated Seller Program. And then in fashion, we have something called our Pre-Loved Partner Program, where our most trusted sellers in pre-loved fashion creates that trust with the buyer that the product is what they would expect while they're participating in circular economy. And then last, it's about item trust. And this is, I would say, our premier trust program, our authenticity guarantee, where every single item that is sold, and this is especially important when you think about my categories, luxury, handbags, jewelry, watches, every item is sold is sent to one of our authentication centers, where it's hand-checked by a team of experts to ensure that the item is authentic, as well as is in the condition that the buyer expects. We've had over 15 million items pass through our AG centers, and so really we're invested in ensuring that every item is trusted. And not only that, it gets packaged up in this great luxury experience that's representative of the item, and so it's this great buying experience for the buyer as well, too.
And of course, it's not just in fashion. We also have authenticity guarantee for high-value trading cards as well, to make sure that we've got that same trusted experience there. And actually, on that point, we've recently introduced more data onto the View Item page to really push on this concept of item trust. So we've introduced what we call population data for graded trading cards that really lets you know how scarce that item is, which then plays into, is this a fair value for this price? Because then you're going to really understand for a collectible, scarcity is key. How many of them of that item are out there, and have again more confidence in making that purchase.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a different element for each focus category and how we establish trust.
It really does. Well, thank you both. Maybe the next question I'd love to just move over to is, where do we think we've been the most successful? Chris, do you have a point of view on that?
Yeah, so, trust is the main thing, as Alexis and Adam were saying, but, it manifests itself slightly different in different categories. So one of the categories that, I personally have a lot of passion for, because I'm a huge car nut, is our automotive parts and accessories category. This is a category where we have 700 million parts on the site at any moment in time. The average car has 35,000 parts, so if something goes wrong, it's really an exercise where you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. And so this is something that we've always known as enthusiasts that work on this space, but definitely when you talk to customers and buyers, this is their biggest concern and fear. So we spent a lot of time refining our data, getting the data, in fact, to standards that we think is world-class, if not best, in the industry, and then of course refining the finding experience on the buy side. And because we believe this is done to a standard that we stand behind, we launched eBay Guaranteed Fit. And that just means that even though you go through all of that and something should go wrong, because it always could. Somebody could grab the wrong box in the warehouse. What happens? We've got your back. So it's really a manifestation in P&A that we're very excited about.
Absolutely, the criticality of data. Oh, Alexis?
Yeah, well, and I think it's so interesting hearing these examples, and this is really about our role as leaders and focus categories. Our goal is about finding those things that really matter for our categories and figuring out how we can create those great experiences. And it shows up differently for each of our categories, but it's all interrelated, which I think is a great experience.
Perfect. Well, how do we think that this work is really benefiting the sellers who maybe don't sell in these focus categories we've been chatting about?
Yeah, this is a great point. We talk a lot about focus categories because we as a team just are relentless around trying to perfect those experiences. But, we're not just doing it to activate those categories in themselves. What we see is we basically have created these flagship experiences that attract new buyers and new customers and new consumers that have never used eBay in the past. And then when they come into our flagship experiences, they essentially are very valuable in that experience, but the value transcends beyond that. So a couple of examples. If you attract a new parts and accessories buyer into the eBay category, they spend about $400 in that first year in parts and accessories, but they spend $600 in all other categories outside of parts and accessories. And there's similar examples which are just exciting for us to see. In Adam and team's category in trading cards, the average new buyer spends $1,000 on a trading card in year one and spends $1,000 outside of trading cards in all the other categories. So it's really a gateway experience.
It is a gateway.
Turning consumers into fans of broader eBay.
Fans across the categories.
And we see something very similar in fashion as well too. So a sneaker customer who comes in, they buy their first sneaker for $100, they come back and buy 3 more, but then they go on to spend $2,000 in other categories. And it's a great vehicle for acquiring new customers into eBay, each of our categories as well too. And then they go and shop. And I know a lot of sneakerheads become trading cards enthusiasts. And so this idea of being able to create the cross-shopping, but also the focus category to bring customers in is really a key part of the strategy.
Absolutely. We would love to see that movement across. Well, maybe for the next question, Adam, if you could spend a minute on what do you think is changing in each of the respective categories?
Well, Dawn, one of the things I absolutely love about working at eBay is just how dynamic the e-commerce space is. In our industry, there are always new competitors emerging, there's always new innovation emerging, and that's great because it keeps us on our toes and it forces us to raise the bar. Across all of our focus categories, I think we've got examples of where we've recognized the need to improve the buyer and the seller experience. And so, for me in trading cards, for example, we've increasingly seen out there in the ecosystem how important things like vaulting, where you actually store your high-value trading cards in a secure facility is, Or grading as a trend, where you take a card that you've ripped out of a pack of trading cards, and you actually get that put in a plastic slab, and there's a condition assigned to it. As we've seen these trends emerge, we know that we have to be able to continue to help collectors tap into those and take friction outside of the experience. And so we've actually launched recently with our partners at PSA the ability to tap into grading, tap into vaulting with 1 or 2 clicks right in the checkout flow. So as we've seen these emerge, we've wanted to bring them into the collector's experience, make it as smooth and seamless for them as possible.
Really removing friction.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there's another example, Adam, if I can build on it. In the vehicles category, so of course we're the only actor in the space that has both the parts and accessories and the cars. So we're very excited about this, especially again as a personal enthusiast. I love the cars on eBay. It's just my pastime at night when I put the kids to bed. But basically, what we've seen is we have this massive category, but especially in a country like the U.S., transacting nationally is actually pretty hard. If I'm in California and the car that I dream of but I can't afford is in New York State, how do I get this to California? Right? I probably need finance, I need insurance, I need shipping, I need all these things. I need DMV work, I need reissuance of title. And the truth is, we as eBay have not cracked the code on it. And what you saw, or what you see is, right, there's startups that come up that just have these great ideas and are able to innovate. And 2 years ago, we came across a startup called Caramel who had solved exactly that. An end-to-end online purchase experience that crosses states and solves for all these things. And of course, we befriended them, and we're very excited recently to brought them into the eBay family. And for those of you that maybe played with the vehicles category a little bit in the last 2-3 weeks or so, we launched essentially what we now called a secure purchase, which is really this Caramel proposition on eBay. So now you can buy a vehicle end-to-end, and we take care of shipping, DMV work, insurance, all of it. It's very exciting. So we love competition.
Absolutely. Well, and another great example of removing friction. But Alexis, tell us more.
I think some of these examples also speak to one of the power and benefits of eBay is just our scale that we can put behind trends or changes that are happening in each of our categories. And in fashion, pre-loved apparel is becoming such a trend, and we're having such a moment in the fashion industry. And being at eBay, we're able to invest in that and take advantage of these trends. And it's similar in each of the focus categories. But what we're seeing within eBay is we're building up eBay as a fashion destination for pre-loved branded apparel. About 40% now of our sales are in items that are pre-loved. We're seeing vintage searched over 1,200 times a minute. So it just speaks to the scale of the platform that we have and our ability to invest when we see trends happening in the marketplace, and being able to go after that, whether it's acquiring a company or putting the right experiences and technology behind it.
Thank you. Well, I'd love to just maybe spend a quick minute on what challenges or opportunities are overlapping in these categories. As you think about these experiences we've got on this stage, what's the bigger unlock in the way that eBay works?
Yeah, I mean, for me, Dawn, I think the thing that gets really exciting is when we are able to join the dots across these categories, and we're able to take some of these innovations and really move them horizontally. We talked earlier about how our Authenticity Guarantee program started in watches, moved to sneakers, and now is extended into collectibles as well. And I think for me, you'll have all heard us talking a little bit about eBay Live already and how excited we are about that as a new mode of commerce. And that's another one of these that I see stretching across many, many categories. Really started out in trading cards for us here on eBay. It's quickly extended into comics, into coins. I know in fashion we've started to see a lot of success as well with things like watches and pre-loved fashion. I am giving Chris a hard time because I want to see bulldozers, I want to see diggers, I want to see heavy equipment up there as well sometime soon.
We'll get it done.
But eBay Live is such a great example of this. We saw what was happening in collectibles, and then the fashion team came together and we said, let's try launching Fashion Fridays, where we have a whole day of programming in live focused on fashion to start building the audience. And we've seen a ton of success there. I think hopefully yesterday everybody was able to see one of our sellers selling watches on eBay Live. We found watches is this incredible, Live is an incredible platform for selling high-end luxury watches. And we've actually sold a $50,000 Rolex on the Live platform, which is just incredible. Things that we didn't even think were possible in a whole new format. eBay is opening it up for our sellers.
And I actually tuned into Live that evening and I saw it. And I think it started $1 and went to almost 50,000 in 30 seconds.
Incredible.
Incredible. It was really impressive really impressive to see.
Well, you risked spare, so I think that means you didn't win.
No, it wasn't. I was not
Not
the winner.
Chris.
Yeah, next time. You got to get quick. You got to do it quick.
Need to ask my boss for a raise first. But look, I think live is just one example where, what we're constantly looking for, Dawn, is we're looking for one thing that works over here and how we leverage for the rest of eBay.
Exactly.
And another example is, again, for those of you that are into cars, we have this great partnership with McLaren, with the Formula One team for many years now. And in the most recent Miami Formula One race, we basically set up a sort of fashion pop-up store, and we're cross-pollinating that audience there with not just our vehicles and motors proposition, but also with the fashion.
It was fun to watch on social media when that came to life, for sure.
Cool. Well, I actually want to make sure we get trading cards in there as well soon,
next
because
time.
Formula One's actually a really fast-growing category for us within the trading card space.
Oh, perfect. Well, maybe we end on a speed round. What should sellers in the audience take away or do differently? Alexis, you want to get us started?
So I'd say two things. One, lean into all the tools that we're building and launching. They're all designed to help you and your business grow, and we want to hear your feedback. I think you've heard that of every speaker on stage, but we genuinely mean that. But lean into them, try them out, see how it works, and give us feedback on it. And then the second thing I would say is stay close and really lean into your community. You are influencers in your community. You being there, leading in your communities, both in your buying and selling communities, staying on top of trends, that's what makes our platform evolve and stay relevant.
I would maybe just lean into that point about staying on top of trends. It's such a social media-driven world right now that trends are emerging faster than ever, spiking higher than ever, and particularly in the collectibles space, we really do see that the world responds incredibly quickly. So, that ranges from everything like a sort of WNBA, which has, been growing steadily as a new sport. And then you get somebody like Caitlin Clark, who's an absolute superstar, has emerged in that space.
Ooh, and a fashion influencer, too. So we got the cross-category there.
And so, that has really taken off. See sort of double-digit growth in those cards in that space. And then obviously you get something like Labubu. You have a Korean pop star has one of these things hanging off her luxury handbag, and all of a sudden it's the hottest collectible out there. So really important to stay on the pulse of what's going on with that. And it was actually a conversation I was having with one of our sellers, Darius, over dinner last night. Is like, how do you recognize those trends soon enough? Because you also have to be aware, if these things don't last, you don't want to also be holding on to inventory. So
that's a great point.
Plug for the collectibles panel coming up shortly. Come along and learn more about how to make sure we're tapping into those trends appropriately.
Perfect. Well, Chris, up to you.
Yeah, look, I mean, maybe the last thing I'll add there is, unlike some other e-commerce actors out there, we're actually a partnership with our selling community, and we only succeed if we succeed together. And the only way that we succeed together is if we keep getting that feedback. So please keep that feedback coming. You heard it yesterday on the panel and from our CEO. You heard it from Jordan this morning. We love the feedback, not just what's going well, but very much what should be better, because that's the only way we get better together.
That's absolutely right, where the opportunities lie too. Well, that is what we have time for today. Thank you so much, friends. I feel like we learned a lot, and we just really appreciate your time. So thank you for joining us up here.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, when we start with trust and deeply understand what our customers need, we're fundamentally transforming what it's like to buy and sell on eBay. But that's really only the first step of the playbook. Next up, which I am very excited about, we are going to hear the latest on how we're bringing buyers to the platform by telling eBay's story through ambitious, high-profile marketing that showcases the best of, again, what makes eBay, eBay. And with that, it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage Emily O'Hara and Thomas Walker. Thanks, everyone.
Good morning. All right, let's try that again. Good morning. Good morning. All right, thank you so much. That just helps with the nerves. I want to start with a statistic. 90%. And I'll say that differently. 9 out of 10. And now you might be wondering, what is he talking about? And that's good, because that means you're paying attention. What that means is, if you unlock that 90% in your business, you will turn customers into raving fans who will keep coming back for more, and they'll also tell others about you. I'm going to leave that right there, and we'll come back to it. I'm Thomas Walker.
And I'm Emily O'Hara. I am thrilled to be here today and in person. I think last time I was at an eBay Open in person was 2018, and I saw a few of you wearing the t-shirt with, "But did you check eBay?" on the back, so I'm so happy that we're back here together. I'm also thrilled to be sharing the stage with my friend Thomas, my colleague too. And today we're going to share how we work, our teams, hand in hand, in helping you grow your business and bringing our brand promise to life, which is empowering people to do more of what they love.
So here's a fun fact. Emily and I both started on the same day, the same city, same office, side by side, 8 years ago.
I know.
Amazing. My mission at eBay has been very, very clear. First, it's about understanding you. It's about our incredible community of sellers. What fuels you? What motivates you? What do you need from eBay? How can we make sure that we are solving challenges together so that we can keep growing side by side? At the same time, I'm equally focused on understanding buyers. What inspires them? Why do they shop? What are they searching for? And the joy that they feel when they find that great deal, that unique item, or something that's just truly special to them. Because we believe when we connect those two worlds, your drive and their desire, that's where the magic happens. And everything we're doing is designed to make that connection stronger, smarter, and more rewarding for everyone.
For the last 8 years, alongside Thomas, I've been working with him on bringing those consumer insights into developing our global brand strategy. We've believed and always have believed eBay has a right to play a really meaningful role in people's lives, and so that's what we've been focused on building together. The focus for our brand strategy is ultimately to win the hearts and minds for both buyers and sellers around the world. And you've heard it a few times. I heard things people love chanting, but that is the manifestation in the platform that we're building and delivering our strategy through. And it's the promise that we make to our customers every day. We want to make sure that things people love. This is eBay. You should be saying it a lot too. It is powered by our shared passions. We all want to build a stronger eBay together, and it's really important to do that alongside all of you, our absolutely incredible seller community. But Thomas is going to share a bit about the consumer insights that led us to things people love.
And as I get into this, I want to make one thing abundantly clear. This session is all about you and how we are working to put our marketing dollars to work to fuel your growth and success. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we're going to dig into what we have been uncovering as we talk to consumers around the world and how it's shaping our brand strategy to meet buyers exactly where they are and also be where they're going. We'll also talk about our marketing engine and how it's unlocking new levels of demand, bringing more customers to your storefronts. And then we'll dig into our strategic partnerships and how we're making sure that we're amplifying eBay's voice in the market, which is opening up more doors, more pathways, and driving more opportunity to you. Are you ready? All right, let's dive in. Last week, I was driving home from work, and suddenly, windows down, the song comes on. You know the song that takes you back? All right, I'm gonna be honest. This song took me way back. Pre-eBay. Kind of dating myself, but that's okay. And before I knew it, my fingers were tapping on the steering wheel, kind of grooving in my seat. Start singing the chorus, look over, someone's looking right at me. But you know what? I didn't plan that. I just felt it. This last weekend, I went to my favorite coffee shop, and I walked in, and no sooner than I could get a word out, the barista said, "Good morning, are you gonna have the usual?" I smiled. I looked around to see if anyone noticed that I'm a regular. They know me here. But you know what? That was, and I guarantee you, I felt lit up. But you know what? It was not the caffeine, because I hadn't even gotten the coffee yet. Those two examples are gonna highlight exactly what we wanna cover today and how we're leaning in, which is emotions. The power of connecting with emotions. Now, this is the moment where you might be asking yourself, is he really getting ready to talk about emotions?
Yes.
You might even be looking at the person next to you. Is he really getting ready to talk about emotions? So, do me a favor, look at the person next to you and say, yes, he is. Now, I get it. You're busy. You have to do sourcing, inventory management, you have to optimize your listings, price and promote your products and services, fulfill orders, deal with logistics, drive growth, profitability, handle your business, your employees, etc. Deal with competition. And the list goes on and on and on. So I'm gonna get straight to the point. The most powerful driver of human behavior is emotions. In fact, 90% of our actions are driven by our emotions, even when we think we're being logical. I hope you connected that dot to where I started, 90%. So the point is this, when we build emotional connections with our customers, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Companies that have emotionally connected customers experience 85% more growth than those who don't. They get 2 times the amount of referrals, and customers stay with them twice as long, better known as loyalty. So not only do emotionally connected customers buy more and tell others about you, but they also stay with you longer. That kind of connection does not happen by chance. It comes from meeting emotional needs at every interaction. I like to say, particularly in key moments of truth, the moments that matter, the make or break situations in an experience. So what's the secret? We've talked to thousands of consumers around the world and unpacked it down to 3 things. It is about intentionally making sure your buyers feel cared for. They want to feel like they matter, that you value their business. They want to feel important. Make my life easy. You know, when I check something off a to-do list and I make a purchase, I don't want that item to come back on my to-do list. Help me show that you think I'm important by valuing my time and also my money. And then lastly, a sense of belonging, that we're part of something more. Shared values, mission, obviously the vibrant community that we have as eBay. Now I'm gonna pivot a little bit. If that's what buyers want, let's dig a little bit into the world of online shopping and what it's like right now, because I'm sure we've all felt it. You go online, and instead of excitement, you feel blah. It's mindless scrolling through a sea of sameness. Nothing jumps out, nothing surprises you. It's all just a bit transactional. Now you might think, yeah, you know what, that's just me. But it's not. 76% of people around the world say it as well. Shopping just does not feel exciting anymore. It's convenient, but it's kind of boring. Where did the joy go? I like to call this the joy deficit. It's when the simple, feel-good moments that once made online shopping exciting and personal are missing. Mindless consumption, cheap and convenient dominate over meaning and connection. But you know what, eBay sellers? We have the antidote. I said, do you know what? We have the antidote. Because what we also hear from consumers is that eBay is the place where online shopping does not feel like another task. It's exciting, it's personal, and it's full of possibilities. Buyers don't just check out, they light up. The moment when someone says, yes, this is so me, that feeling of finding exactly the right thing at the right time from the right seller. You are the ones who make that magic happen. You don't just list products, you curate possibilities. You don't just fill carts, you spark connection. You create those moments in buyers' lives. Whether it's solving a tricky order with grace, or slipping in a handwritten note to say thank you, to make someone's day, you're not just filling an order, you are making someone feel seen, cared for, and important. So if e-commerce has become transactional and lost its spark, you are the ones who can reignite it. Now, Emily's going to share how we are unlocking emotion and bringing joy back to online shopping.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for bringing the energy. It's like contagious. Thomas just mentioned joy. I mean, it's a privilege to work at a brand where at the core of it is about joy. Thinking about like the clapping tunnel yesterday with all of you, like that absolutely electric energy is at the core of our brand, and it has been the day we started. Our ambition as a team is to grow love for eBay. That's how we can help you grow your business too. And that's really built on doing a few things that you actually heard on the panel just before us, which is delivering value, delivering trust, and importantly, for the emotion connection, delivering joy in the experiences that we give to our customers. Now, brand love grows through time. Like nothing that we have is a solution for tomorrow. We need to build equity in the brand. But it's that emotional connection that we have been talking about, which is what we will continue to invest in so that brand love for eBay is around the world. To sustain the brand love, we launched ourselves again to the world with Things People Love just last year. And this is our global brand platform, it is our global brand tagline, and we are going to be telling stories off this platform consistently and at scale over the foreseeable future. What's amazing about that is it starts to drive relevance, it starts to drive consideration for our brand, which also touches your business. We'll keep moving. I will ad-lib here. Thank you. So everything we do is starting with a deep understanding of our customer. Thomas has talked about that. We spend hours and hours talking to buyers and sellers to understand what's important to them. And so when I think about my job as we're looking at brand and media and our investments and our communication strategy, we need to make sure we're not just telling an eBay story, we're also representing and telling your story in the right way, in the right people, in exactly the right time. So I'm going to walk you through so you can take a look at how Things People Love has started to manifest in the world and how we think about this communication strategy. So again, you'll hear me over and over again, Things People Love. It is the base of everything we do. It's the base of the communication strategy. But when we think about that, there are three things that are really important for us to keep in mind as we're activating upon this, which is we need to create demand. It's really important that we're out there being relevant and reaching new customers and new generations to bring them to the platform. We also need to convert the demand. It's not good enough that we're out there and we're bringing new people to the platform. We need to make sure that they are surfaced to the right store, connected to another seller, given the right item, and they make the purchase. And then last but not least, like the health of the platform is when the buyer and the seller flywheel is really humming. And so nurturing that demand, that's really where brand love starts to come to life, are three critical things that we think about and we optimize every day as we're out here marketing on behalf of eBay. So one key insight, I'm going to talk about creating demand first, that Thomas and I and our teams talk a lot about, which is actually a recommendation from a trusted person or voice is the hardest hitting channel in terms of driving consideration than anything else. So simply put, hearing directly from eBay is not as impactful than hearing from other people talking about their experience with eBay. This is really important because we think about the investing in like a large marketing campaign or doing our next TV commercial. Yes, we need those basics, but we need to light a fire on having people talk about our brand on our behalf, and that also takes all of you. We also have two pieces, though, that we've been focused on building, and hopefully you've seen this out in the world, but aligning ourselves as a brand to key partners that can be that trusted platform that have audiences that we couldn't reach ourselves, and also trusted people, like fanatical eBay enthusiasts who authentically shop on the platform. So I'm gonna introduce you to a few that we've been focused on. So first up is Condé Nast. If you don't know what Condé Nast is, it is a prestigious media company. It has publications like GQ and Vogue, and we've been partnering with them over the past 3 years to definitely reach a new fashion audience, but actually to get out into culture in a way that we couldn't on our own. They give us cultural influence. They have amazing editors, and their storytelling excellence is better than anything out there, and allows us to have a right to be partnering with them to tell a fashion story, to tell a lifestyle story. And so we're really excited about the progress we've made there. As Alexis shared, bringing people in through fashion actually makes the platform healthy overall, and we see people shopping across categories. And so we'll continue to move forward with that partnership. Any F1 fans out here? Sort of. We have been partnering with McLaren, luckily a winning F1 team over the past year and a half now. What we love about this one is that we are able to get our brand in the middle of a very leaned-in cultural moment. I was joking with my boss, our global CMO, Adrian Fung, as we were on the way here about how every F1 race now is almost like a mini Super Bowl. So if you think about that, all of these people leaned in with their eyes, and eBay is showing up in a meaningful way. It's a really great way for us to get exposure to audiences that we couldn't traditionally do. And then last up, one that is a bit smaller, but I'm really excited about it. It's in the collectibles space, which is The Athletic. So The Athletic editorial platform that does a lot of writing around sports. We're integrating with them so that editors can curate a direct feed from eBay that surfaces collectible items that are relevant to the article we're talking about. So this is a way where we can get inventory into a contextual place where buyers will convert faster than other places that we would show up. And so these are just scratching a few surface of what we're doing in terms of partners. Now, in terms of people, this year we launched something called The Cast. This is essentially an influencer network on steroids. These are long-term partnerships with eBay enthusiasts that are out there reaching their audiences, telling people how to eBay. Their tricks and tips of making eBay a really meaningful part of their lives. And so we're very excited to see the traction here. We have some big names like Chappell Roan and Emma Chamberlain who are part of this, but we also have some micro-influencers who are able to reach communities, again, that we couldn't in traditional media. This cast of influencers helps us build community. That's key. Community is about connection, and so something very important to us. It allows them to show what the eBay experience means to them, and so again, capitalizing on this insight that a recommendation from a trusted voice versus a direct message from eBay will be more meaningful. So you will see more of this, and excited for eBay to be out in culture and surround sound on all we do. I'm going to move on into talking about nurturing. We're going to talk more about community here. We've just come off of a few very busy weeks of physical activations in the collectible space. But this is really important. Showing up in moments that matter, where our buyers and sellers are together, is something that we're investing in. And we've talked a lot about AI, this agentic era we're in, or bots. Being in person, like these moments, is going to be coveted and even more important. So we're going to continue to invest in this strategy. I'm going to talk about eBay Live, which is amazing, because this is a way that you can have community, but even virtually. So this is where we see the strength of our community come through, where buyers and sellers can interact and talk to each other. It's a great way for sellers to be able to showcase their items in a really awesome, trusted experience, and you can have the conversation of the whole community happening there. We are taking eBay Live on tour, which is very cool. We have a mobile pop-up that actually is in LA today, but it's going across the US to drive awareness that eBay has a new way to shop, to buy and sell. And so we're really excited about the feedback that we're getting from our enthusiast sellers on the ground, and we're going to continue to invest to make that experience a beautiful manifestation of our marketplace. eBay Live was at Comic-Con in the UK. We launched live there this year, which is super exciting. Germany is a fast follow. And I guess I'll ask, anyone went to the Nationals just a few weeks ago? Sports collector? No? I'm surprised. Well, if you were there, eBay kind of took over the show. This was a full-scale, in real-life activation, and every aspect of our presence was really rooted in the collectibles, being the home of the hobby for this group. So in short, what we're really looking to do is to show up wherever you are, whether that's with our buyers or sellers in the communities we're a part of. So this is just scratching the surface, but we're going to show you a short video that captures other ways that we're bringing things people love to the world.
With eBay, you know, I've been shopping vintage for years.
Oh, hello. I'm actually always on eBay looking at car parts.
The full circle moment for us to be even going to like fashion's biggest night with eBay.
I love to find hyper-specific items on eBay.
eBay is like my personal research tool.
It's kind of magical.
Like every day in my house, an eBay box. Mint.
Can't come.
Sold on eBay, found on eBay, and I've partnered with eBay.
The best car in the world, we did it!
Miami race weekend converted me into a car girl.
eBay is killing it today.
I was just about to say eBay.
I am such an obsessive eBay shopper.
So many things that are accessible on eBay, things that you didn't think were possible, and that you could like only dream of, can exist.
How awesome is that? Real people, real stories, real passion. That's what Things People Love is all about. It's bringing fresh energy and more people to your storefronts to get the things that they love. Everything we're investing right now comes down to one thing: building meaningful connections between buyers, eBay, and you. And we're doing that in a number of ways by showing up in places that matter. We're meeting buyers exactly where they are. And we're also changing the way that people see eBay. We're tapping into what truly matters to them, why they shop, how it makes them feel, and the connection they build through great experiences. And when we connect with buyers on that level, we drive demand, we capture their attention, we shift their mindsets, and we motivate buyers to choose you. So what does this mean for you? It means we're bringing motivated buyers to your storefronts by driving stronger consideration for the brand and positioning eBay in a way where you can capitalize on that momentum. Packaging orders with care, adding a personal touch, responding quickly and kindly to questions, delivering consistently smooth and reliable experiences will lead to the emotional connection that we've talked about today. When we make buyers feel cared for, important, and they feel like they belong, we turn that purchase into preference, and we grow our passionate community of enthusiasts.
So what's next? We're going to continue to tell the Things People Love story at scale, across categories, across regions. We are consistently and competitively investing in these stories so that they're seen and that they're heard. But this is just the beginning of our story with Things People Love, and there's an opportunity for you to be part of that momentum. So my ask is be an extension of the brand. You are truly the best part of Things People Love by giving buyers that winning feeling of discovery, the passion fulfilled with the perfect item found.
Let me finish where I started. 90% of emotions drive 90% of our behavior is driven by emotions, not feature or price. Emotions is the primary engine of our behavior. And the more we can connect with buyers' emotions, we increase the likelihood that they not only keep coming back and buying more, but they also tell others. By being intentional with creating these emotional connections at every touch point, from the very first glance at your listings, through delivery and beyond, you'll not only capture the attention, you will cultivate loyal customers who feel genuinely connected to you.
So thank you for joining us today, for all you do as part of eBay's community. There's truly no eBay without all of you, so we appreciate you dearly.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Emily and I are and all of eBay, we're so excited about the amazing things we are going to achieve together. Let's create magic, and together, let's bring back the joy of online shopping.
Thank you.
Please welcome Elizabeth Rommel, Avriti Kanduri Mittal, David Newman.
Hello, sellers. Welcome to day 2 of the eBay Open. I'm Avriti Mittal, VP of Product for eBay Payments, Financial Services, Ads, and Shipping. It's such an honor to be here with you today. Thank you for spending your precious time with us.
Good morning, sellers, and thank you. I'm David Newman, and I lead our Global Trust organization. I'll share some exciting developments in areas such as seller protections, feedback, unpaid items, and returns.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Rommel, General Manager of Global Seller Development. Today, I'll be focusing on AI and advertising to fuel your growth.
So let's get started. Yesterday, our CEO, Jamie Iannone, hosted an incredibly inspiring and insightful panel with some of our amazing sellers. For today's panel, we decided to switch things a little bit. So we're very excited to welcome 2 incredible sellers onto the stage who will moderate this panel, and my colleagues and I will be in the hot seat. Let's roll the tape.
The day that we opened our grand opening for our first location, and my mom came to the store and she broke down crying. You know, she grew up in the same neighborhood in the Lower East Side where the store is, and she broke down because she was remembering as a kid how she couldn't afford any shoes. She couldn't afford sneakers.
My name is Danny.
My name is Christy.
And we are eBay sellers. Our journey in the sneaker business began about 10 years ago. A friend of mine who told me that there was certain sneakers that he was buying that he was able to make profit on every week. And I was able to start making a little bit of money on the side.
In 2015, it was becoming kind of overwhelming for him. So with my kind of background in customer service and also working with shoes in the past in retail, you know, I was able to bring those skills into the business with Danny and just help him scale.
So I would actually line up every single day. I was buying everything that was coming out. I was listing it on eBay. And then from there, we did really well. We were able to invest the money back in the company. We opened up District 1 in 2021. We catered to a lot of collectors as well as everyday average people. You know, we wouldn't be anything without the sneakerheads. Some of the dope experiences that we've had in District 1 is being able to help people that are in need. We currently have 21 employees. So we're very happy that we're able to provide opportunities for them. And this has changed our lives, the trajectory of our lives.
It's so nice to be here.
Hi, I'm Daniel Arango, and this is very exciting. Let's get into it. When we started our business, it was a challenge to get capital. We had almost nothing. I had to ask my parents and my cousins for cash to invest in our business. I even asked a competitor of ours to go in on deals together. Now we're hoping to open our 3rd storefront. Are there ways that sellers can get more support from eBay to expand their business, Avriti?
Short answer is yes. But first off, Danny and Christy, thank you for being here with us today. You know, in your own words, your story, and let me see if I can get this right, from hugging the block to owning the block, it's incredibly inspiring. Sellers, can we give a huge round of applause to Danny, Christy?
Thank you.
And I think your story is also very reflective of the experience that a lot of small businesses have. Big dreams, even big ambitions and passion, but limited resources and that quiet, scrappy hustle to make it all happen. At eBay, our mission is to create economic opportunity for all. And that means helping our sellers not just survive and sustain, but thrive and succeed. And so, Danny, one of the things we consistently hear from our sellers is the following. Access to affordable capital can be business saving and life-changing, but it's also incredibly hard to come by. In fact, according to a Goldman Sachs survey, about 77% of owners in the US are worried about their ability to get growth capital when they need it. And we hear this from sellers all the time. They have perfectly vibrant and high potential businesses, but they still don't feel bankable in the traditional sense when it comes to seeking growth capital from their banks or from the local credit unions. And so that's exactly why we created eBay Seller Capital. Jamie introduced the program yesterday in his keynote, and I'm really excited to share a few details about the program today. So eBay Seller Capital offers flexible, fast, and affordable access to growth capital for our eBay sellers. And it's really tailored to the needs of our sellers because we understand and know their business. Jamie mentioned yesterday that the application experience is super easy. It's online. No shuffling a whole lot of paperwork, making those 5 trips to the bank with a massive, ginormous folder. You were telling me the other day that 4 years of bank statements just to prove to the bank that you're worthy of growth capital.
And still hard to get along.
And still hard to get by. So none of that needs to happen. You simply apply online. It takes a few minutes. And upon approval, the growth capital is available to the seller within 12 to 24 hours, not days, not weeks, not months. It's really available when they need it, and then they get going. The other cool thing about the program is that the payments are really meant to flex with the seller's sales cycle because we have ups and downs, right? And so the financing needs to work towards supporting the sales cycle of the seller and not against it. And if you're worried and stressed about keeping track of when payments are due, we've taken care of that. Payments are automatically deducted from your eBay earnings as and when the time comes. So we are making this experience much more easier and more discoverable, and I'm really pleased to share that currently we're rolling out an experience which will allow sellers to apply right from the Seller Hub. There's no need to leave your workflow. It's right there. Feel free to apply, and you'll be on your way. And then finally, the one thing I would share is the impact is what really matters. So, so far this year, we have connected over 10,000 sellers with well over $100 million of growth capital this year alone. Yeah. Isn't that great?
That's crazy.
But I have to say, it's not just about the numbers. It's about our sellers. It's about your stories. And so I'd love to introduce you to Stephanie Franco, who availed of the Seller Capital program last year. Stephanie couldn't be here with us today, but I know she's online watching us. Hi, Stephanie. She is the business owner for a business called Lady Suburbia, and Stephanie sells vintage finds on eBay. Let's roll the tape and hear from Stephanie.
My name is Stephanie Franco, and my store name is Lady Suburbia. In 2019, I was on the verge of working with some larger companies. During that time, the pandemic hit. So I lost those contracts and opportunities, and digging really deep, I looked at eBay as a form of additional income. I decided to apply for eBay Seller Capital Program. So I wanted to scale up my business, and I needed that capital to do so. The process was straightforward and easy. It just took a few minutes to apply, and within a few days, I received funding. I was able to lower my cost of goods. I now rent a storage unit where I can sell all that extra inventory. I literally have gone from 200 listings to nearly 700. eBay offers a lot of flexibility as a seller, and it allows me to grow as my business grows as well. I'm able to attend my family's events, my kids' soccer games. I get to pick up my son from school. eBay Seller Capital Program empowers me to be the businesswoman that I want, the mother that I aspire to be, and the seller that's making strides on a global scale.
And sellers, this is why eBay exists. This is the kind of transformation we want for every single seller. We want our sellers to have the capability and confidence to say yes to the next growth opportunity that they have.
Thank you. Okay. So what is open banking?
Great question. So, and you basically opened the door to announcing to what I was about to announce. We're very excited that later this year we are improving the program and making it even more holistic with the power of open banking. So open banking will essentially enable our sellers to securely and conveniently in a digital format share their overall business health and financial data with eBay, as well as our trusted lending partners. And why that's really helpful, Danny and Christy, is because it helps us have a much more holistic view of your business, both on and off eBay, which will help us unlock higher approval rates, bigger capital offers at more competitive pricing. And the part that I'm personally most excited about is that it will make eBay Seller Capital available to even more sellers, particularly the ones that were underserved. So this is, at the end of the day, all about financial inclusion and putting the power in the hands of our sellers.
That's great. So essentially, sellers like us would have access to it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Is there a range of capital, or does it depend on the revenue that the company brings in?
Yes, absolutely. And the answer is yes to both. So in terms of the range, it goes from as low as $500 all the way up to $2 million. And the breadth of the range is really meant to cater to the diverse needs of our sellers.
That's amazing. It's really great to see how eBay has invested in sellers' success. And as sellers, we're also interested in seeing how we can help eBay. Is eBay doing anything to help improve the buyer experience and to attract more millennial and Gen Z shoppers?
Yes, very much so. I see Xiaodi sitting in the front row today. Hi, Xiaodi. Yesterday, you heard from our colleagues, Xiaodi and Nizan, as well as some of the conversations that happened earlier today. We're continuing to invest in experiences on eBay to make them more seamless, more flexible, and magical, particularly for the younger segment. And a great example of that is eBay Live. My 9-year-old son is on eBay Live. He forces me to buy a lot of Pokemon cards for him, so hopefully it's adding to my retirement fund at some point. But from my perspective, one of the things we've been doing to attract new customers, particularly Gen Z, millennials, and women, Christy,
yes.
We need more women on eBay as buyers and sellers, is launching new ways to pay. And this is all about meeting these younger buyers where they already are and introducing them to eBay. 2 payment methods that we launched, Venmo last year and Klarna this year, have been incredibly successful in helping us attract new customer segments who are younger, but they're also shopping more on eBay. So as an example, with Klarna, the average order value for a transaction that is made on eBay with Klarna is about 3 times the market average. And that's big because that results in bigger basket sizes, higher sales velocity, and more sales for our sellers. And so whether it's someone looking for that really hard to find Labubu, I don't get that trend personally, or the hottest pair of sneakers, we want these younger buyers to discover these items, the inventory on eBay, as they say, get obsessed and buy these items on eBay.
Yeah, this is really great news. Earlier, Avriti mentioned that there's other ways that eBay is supporting sellers' growth. Elizabeth, eBay offers a global seller development program. Can you please tell us how it works?
Yes, it's great to build on the things that we're doing for Gen Z buyers and knowing that as sellers grow, eBay's growing, and we're all winning together. So the Global Seller Development Org was recently launched with a vision to take sellers through different stages from launch and onboarding to setting goals and helping them succeed for those custom goals. The account managers on the team are assigned to specific businesses based on categories. They're able to really understand not only that seller, but how the overall macroeconomic environment, what we're doing in terms of initiatives for categories, and hook the sellers up with the right resources to achieve their goals. Now, what we're doing, we're also taking our learnings and we're moving those into Seller Hub, into insights, into automated recommendations so that this extends beyond sellers that have a dedicated account manager. We also have a pro trader program, and that program focuses on cohorts. We're really looking for business sellers to take their business to the next level, teach them as much as we can about what's working for their business, and then hand off to have them go execute, test and learn, and come back. We're also using AI to scale and support, and you'll hear more about that shortly. So I'll leave you on that cliffhanger.
Okay.
Well, sorry, I just wanted to say, like, one thing that we appreciate so much about eBay is that you guys really genuinely seem to not only listen to us, but to act on, the feedback that we give and make meaningful changes that helps, everybody's business grow.
Yeah, we absolutely are sponges for listening and understanding those pain points. And by taking all of that information and putting it into a central repository, we're able to identify themes, help with roadmap prioritization. So really working hand in hand with our product counterparts to make sure that what you need is getting built.
Okay. Now let's switch gears a little bit into something that I think affects all of us sellers. It's dealing with returns, right? So raise your hand if you've had issues with returns with customers. Cool. So most of you guys, okay. So David, what is eBay doing to help us sellers deal with these returns?
Yeah, Danny, returns have been a huge focus for us this whole year, and I'm here today to share two interesting updates that I hope get the crowd really exciting. First off, we hear the concerns sellers have around final sale. And Christy, Danny, you're well aware of the protections you get as you sell with authenticity guarantee. And the next step on our journey toward a true final sale experience is in the area of the listings you have that are 4 parts or not working, where you've marked them as no returns accepted. So starting in October, there's going to be clear, prominent messaging at every stage of the buyer journey on these listings. So buyers will see. Yep. So from the item page through checkout, all the way through post-purchase, buyers are going to see clearly that your listing is 4 parts are not working and no returns accepted. This is all designed to reinforce that true final sale experience. And some key changes for these listings are that remorse returns will be blocked entirely, and there'll be stricter requirements for not as described claims, where the buyer is going to have to submit photographs that clearly contradict what's in your listing. And there's one more piece of this as well. We're going to shorten the claim window from 30 days to just 3. So this is just step 1, and you can expect there'll be more protections for final sale listings.
Yeah, now that you mentioned item not as described, we've definitely had some issues with that. There was one sale that particularly stands out in my mind. This buyer bought a t-shirt from us, was a size small. We shipped them the size small. Then they opened an item not as described claim saying, you sent me a size small. And they won. And they won. So is there anything that eBay is doing on the fashion side to help with that?
Yeah, Christy, that example is one I heard at least twice yesterday from other sellers as well. So we don't have a perfect solve there yet for fashion, but trust that we're working on it, and we're going to keep going in that direction. And we can build upon some of the blocks that you've heard about over the last couple of days. So one is, how do we leverage artificial intelligence in those examples? And the second is, I was just sharing about the photographic evidence that's required to clearly contradict the listing. How do we bring that into more of the claims experiences across the board? So we'll look for us to keep pushing on that one. We hear you. We know it's huge for fashion.
Thank you.
Awesome. So second, let's talk about what Jordan mentioned earlier, where we're working to protect you in any case where you're out the item and the money. And we're starting with item not received claims. We know what happens. You ship the item and the carrier delays. It might be lost somewhere in the carrier network, completely missing. The buyer opens a claim, you issue the refund, and then the item shows up days later. So you're out the product and the money, and that's not right. So show of hands in the audience if this has ever happened to you. That's a lot of hands. Danny, Christy, what about you all and your business at District 1? Has this happened to you?
Yeah, so I'm guessing a lot of sellers have been in this position before, like us. It hurts every time, but it really hurts, and it's most impactful when you're first starting and you're just trying to get by. So what will eBay be doing to address this challenge?
Yeah, great question. Really proud and excited to announce a new seller protection that's coming. If you use eBay labels and you ship on time from the listed location, and tracking shows that the item's delivered after a refund is issued, eBay is going to reimburse you for the item cost. And even better, there's nothing that you have to do. You don't have to open up an appeal. We'll take care of it. We'll issue the reimbursement. And furthermore, we'll go back in and we'll fix any impact to your seller standards. We're standing. So please know that we're going to keep working in these areas because we want to stand behind sellers who do the right thing. So that last protection starts on October 1st, and looking forward to protecting you all with that.
Yeah, I see we're all very excited to hear that. Is there anything you're doing about automated feedback?
Yeah, so with automated feedback, you may have heard this launched in the UK. We know that across eBay, only 1 in 3 buyers leave feedback, even when everything goes perfectly. So that means you're not always getting credit for the excellent service that you provide. So starting on September 3rd, we're going to change that. If you ship with a tracked service, can be an eBay label or your own label, doesn't matter in this case, and the item arrives on time, and the buyer doesn't report any issue afterwards, eBay is going to leave positive feedback, provided the buyer hasn't already. So once again, like with the protections for item not received, there's no action needed on your part. It's seamless, it's built in. Your great service will get the recognition that it deserves, and this helps future buyers see your reliability and professionalism in every way. And I know that there's a lot of other questions about feedback, so please come see us at the protections booth this afternoon, and we'd love to talk to you more about it.
It's really... It's really great to see these changes to feedback. As sellers, we've really appreciated the work to require immediate payment on best offers. That's helped us a lot. But a lot of us still use auctions, and unpaid items are still a big problem for us. We've paused doing auctions for now. When can we expect a fix for that?
Yeah, Danny, great question. Unpaid items have to go, and we want to win back your full confidence in using auctions, and we want every seller in the room to feel confident using auctions. I'm going to build upon what Jordan shared earlier today about the progress we've made in UPI. As you know, fixed price listings require immediate payment even at very high price points. And for best offers, buyers have to have a payment method on file, and we hit that payment method immediately when you accept the best offer. And as Jordan said earlier, now less than 1% of transactions on eBay go unpaid. But we're not done. We're applying the same principles to auctions and making real progress. Auto pay for auctions is already live, so buyers have to have a payment method on file to bid, and we'll go ahead and auto charge that payment when the auction is over. And we've extended this auction's UPI reduction to the cases with combined shipping. So for those of you who offer combined shipping, buyers will now see 2 easy options. They can either choose to have their payment processed automatically once the auction ends, or within a 1-hour window, they can choose Shop More, Ship Together, where eBay encourages them to visit your store, purchase more items to take advantage of your combined ship discounts. So within that 7-day window, the buyers can shop, and if they choose to check out earlier or wait the full 7 days, we'll hit their payment method automatically. It's simpler, faster, and it's better for everyone.
David, that's awesome. I actually experienced this last weekend. My son made me buy yet another Charizard Pokemon card from P-Football. Very fun live session, and I loved that the payment was instant. My son was very happy, and I was actually happy knowing this has been a pain point that the seller got their money instantaneously.
Yeah, wonderful. Sellers, no more need to be emailing and messaging the buyers after it ends.
Love that. Yes. Now, what about verifying buyers?
Right. So that's coming later this year. We're going to be introducing verified bidding. So for buyers, this means that we're going to be requiring that they have phone number verification in place. And we're testing more solutions like government ID and selfie checks at higher price points. And in trading cards, we're going to be testing holding funds and taking partial payments, all to ensure real buyer intent and to ensure that there's a payment at the end of the auction. And international buyers are going to have to meet the same strict requirements, no exceptions. We're also tightening our enforcement, so we'll have a lower tolerance for non-paying buyers, and we're introducing smarter tools with AI that block bad actors before they bid. The bottom line is a fair, more trustworthy auction experience, and you get paid every time.
Now, let's talk about ads. So District 1, we started promoted listings about 2 years ago. And to be honest, at first we didn't see much growth. But now we're seeing a lot of movement happening. What's changed?
So I'm really happy to see the progress we've made over the past really 4 years where we've invested in expanding the ads portfolio from a promoted listing general cost per sale program to having a portfolio of options for ads. So one thing that I would say is your case is not alone. We do see sellers start out, try advertising, have to work through what their goals are and what works for them. The products and technology that we have behind the advertising products really does help fuel that growth. And so one of the things that we suggest is to look at what your goals are, to think about how that matches up with the different instruments. So for example, promoted listings with a priority strategy will get you to the top of search. And when you're trying to move through a lot of inventory, this is really critical. We have a great new product called Promoted Stores. And for those of you that are either brands or have a collection of items to sell, investing in the store and then driving visibility so buyers can find that store. Once they're there, they might buy the item that they were searching for, or they might find something else in your collection or store to buy. One of my favorite features, though, is if then they follow you and they're able to understand when you're going live, they have notifications, so all of that really does help the impact of advertising. Now, talking about tools and technology to help you understand performance, this is really important for sellers to take the reins and have control, and that's one of the things that we've built in to our suite of products. The advertising dashboard, which has its own tab on the Seller Hub, was launched just a year ago. And the idea was to bring the portfolio of products together and have all the information from launching campaigns to understanding return on advertising spend, budgets, and opportunities. Some of the features that launched with that advertising dashboard are rooted in AI. So trend-based campaigns, which likely right now would say Labubus are a great thing to invest in. And what we do is we see if you have those in your inventory, now's a great time to promote. The campaign is ready to go. All you have to do is click a button. Similarly, suggested campaigns look at a seller's unique inventory, their targets, and what's happening on the overall market, and recommend campaigns that, again, are just ready to go. And we learn from the results. We learn from the ROAS that's created from those campaigns, and then we put that back into our technology to create even more and better options for you. So I'd really encourage any sellers that are struggling to find the performance that you found to go and spend time with our advertising dashboard. I'm also really excited to announce that now we have a mobile destination.
Wow.
And if you're like me, I do most of my business on my phone, personal, otherwise, and to be able to go in and check on your promoted listings general campaign, understand how it's performing, and do that at any time of the day, I think is a really great first step. More to come on the mobile front, but a great place to start, so I'm excited to share that with you and be able to help monitor performance.
Yeah, I think that's great, because we're always on the go, and she's working even in the hotel while we're outside. So now that she can do it on the app, it'll just enhance the experience that much more.
Definitely.
Yes, and so thinking about performance and the continuum, I think it also is important to look at it over the long term and know that it does take time to settle in. and that we're constantly working and improving our technology, improving the way that we think about personalization. And by using these techniques, and we do hope that more sellers are in your seat, and we are hearing this, I heard it at breakfast today. We started using advertising. I was skeptical of it, but it's working great. And so it absolutely is an optional feature for growth levers, but being part of the team that has created the options and continued to improve them, continued to listen to customers. And one highlight is the advertising dashboard. Last year we launched it, and we heard that we had taken away an important filtering ability. And so the team really quickly mobilized and got that same functionality in the new dashboard. So please do continue to share feedback, because that feedback really helps us grow and get the best product out there.
And it does work, because we've been using them. They do work. But yeah, so essentially right now, we just like to thank you guys. Christy has something to say.
Oh, sorry, one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
That I want to make a quick plug. So it's also, we have people here to help, and I'd encourage all of you to join. We have an advertising workshop hosted by Dallin McKee later this afternoon. And so for any of you out in the live audience that are able to come by, learn a bit more, and work on any strategies or troubleshooting, Dallin and his team are excellent resources to be able to do that.
Awesome. You shared some, yes, deserving applause. Now, you shared some great insights on how AI is being used in advertising, but I'm curious on how it's being applied to customer service. One of the biggest challenges that we face is the sheer volume of inquiries, many of which are repetitive and related to information that's already within the listing. We hear all the time, like, is this item available? What size is this, you know? So in yesterday's keynote, there was a mention of a new AI assistant that can help with these types of questions and answering it automatically. Could you tell us more about that?
Yes, and Christy, you're not alone. We've heard this from a lot of sellers. And no one wants to write the same sentence, even if you're copying and pasting over to the question of, is this item available, or has my item shipped yet? So yesterday we announced that there's a new AI assistant for messaging. And this will take your specific information about your account and apply it to our suggested response. You're still in control. Still able to edit that response and say what you want, but I think it will work for many instances that takes that one administrative task away from you. It will improve over time, but excited to share that, and hopefully a little less typing and annoying messages to respond to.
This is great. It's going to be a big, super helpful.
Just save time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'd like to, with all those questions that we had, I'd like to just say thank you to eBay for highlighting us sellers and honestly changing our lives in doing so. And thank you for listening to us and giving us a really strong platform to stand on. We really appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Now, what is your ask of us as sellers?
So for me, I would say set clear goals. The more we're clear on your goals, the more we can help you achieve them. And also to really embrace a curiosity and a test and learn mentality. And we'll learn along with you, and we want to be your partner on the journey.
I'd say Elizabeth mentioned this earlier, but eBay exists because our sellers exist. So please continue to give us feedback. Your feedback informs our roadmap and the features that we launch.
And I know a lot of sellers are heading out to get to the sessions, but Jordan's about to come right back on stage. And my only ask that I'll close with is just let us know how these upcoming changes are working for you. We want to make sure you have a seamless experience, you get seen, and you get paid.
And we look forward to connecting with our fellow sellers throughout eBay Open.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thanks. And thanks so much to Danny and Christy for hosting us. It was fun to be in the hot seat. And with that, I'd like to hand it back over to Jordan Sweetnam to finish the session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Danny and Christy. That was awesome. I don't think there's a better example possible than what we just saw here with the features that David announced around listening to our customers. So there's QR codes everywhere. Please give us your feedback. You can find an employee. You can send me an email. You can leave feedback on the community forums, on Reddit, on Facebook. Know that we're gathering it everywhere. This is why we're here. So please connect with us for the rest of the 48 hours. And I hope everybody enjoys the rest of day 2. Thank you so much.